Welcome. You are listening to the Everybody Speaks podcast. I'm your host, Ray Reddy. I'm back with another iconic episode, episode 7. A good friend of mine, a energetic soul, someone creating, catching, and most importantly, living thick. I'm here with my friend Eric from Thicc Bass TV.
Cautiously optimistic from afar. Here's a long call from heaven to give these hard-earned scars. It's a long road to Virginia. Hope you come my way. It's a long road to Virginia. Lord, I'm thinking I might stay.
How's it going, man?
Excellent. I'm over the fucking moon to have you here. It's been a long day, obviously. I've had you waiting for a little bit, but the 3-camera setup, the times are alive. Episode 7, it's an interesting world because for those that have watched all 7 episodes, they know that we have 0 sponsors at this moment. And I'm proud to announce that for the next 3 episodes, we'll be partnering with Triple Crossing and Charged Up. And so shout out those guys. And most importantly, Eric, I know that you're an avid beer drinker, and so I'm going to have you do a live JBBR of a product that was donated from Triple Crossing.
Falcon Smash, man, a Richmond staple. Wow, let's get into it. So we're coming in at 7% ABV, India Pale Ale, hazy, I take it, clean can. I think that's a pretty clean can. I'm going to have to go on the can a 3.77. Now, let's crack on into it and get into the taste. You ready, Ray? Cheers, buddy.
Brother. Cheers.
I'm thinking 4.5 on that taste. I'm serious. Highest IPA I've ever rated. It's just...
Okay, I like that. I personally think, it was given to me, and I personally think it's the best beer of Richmond. It's a staple of Richmond, but
easy.
as long as it's the highest rated IPA, okay, I trust.
I give it a 4.5. I haven't had an IPA that really goes past this as far as flavor profile, and it's right here in Virginia, so get you some. And now, crushability. Boom! Boom! I'm not even fucking around. I just chugged half this can, went down like water, no burn. It's got a nice, it's just a nice, it's crisp, and I'll tell you, there's a reason why Falcon Smash, you can't find it very often, and when you do find it, it's a little bit more pricey because people snatch this stuff up. Crushability, I'm going to have to go with a solid 4 on that one, guys.
That's wild, and then you got to do where's the JBBR score going to be?
Oh.
Point?
Thanks for joining us today while we review Falcon Smash. Here's the score. Catch you next week.
Fuck yeah, boys. Shout out Falcon Smash. Shout out Triple Crossing. I'm happy to be doing a partnership with them. I haven't quite signed, but it feels like signing day, so I'm going to do a change of hats as I have already too many. But for the people that don't know, what did we just experience? What is the JBBR?
So basically, since I was about 19, I bought my John boat when I was in high school. I was 18. I mowed a couple lawns, bought a John boat. The guy I bought it from actually was unfortunately dying of cancer. And he told me, make sure you use this boat. So that's why I'm always out there. I've had people hate on me too. You're always on the John boat. Yeah, because I told that guy that I was going to always be on the John boat. And that meant a lot to me because he cut me a deal. Those aluminum boats aren't cheap. So I drank a lot of beer on my John boat, obviously like any high school or college kid would.
Any American.
And any American, yes. And I thought, since I was like 19, I was like, man, it'd be so cool to have a beer review on the John boat. And it's one of those things that just kind of was in my head. And one day, I told my boy Sean, hey, film this right now. Ripped it off the cuff. Did a tall boy Voodoo Ranger, and the rest was history, man.
When we say history, you surpassed, I believe, the goal originally, which was to do one a week. What number John boat beer review was that right there?
We're not on a John boat, but that was beer review number 62.
Elite in its dedication, its consistency, and it's funny because technically, and I hate using this term, but we are content creators and aspiring influencers, but you actually have a drive within it and then have built certain methods, and You know, it's one thing to say you're a creator or anything, but do something 62 weeks in a row and the consistency.
Well, I've
it's
missed
epic.
some weeks, but
Oh, respect, but you've come back harder than next.
I was upset when I missed a week. So I was out in the Blue Ridge Mountains, and for some reason Instagram just wasn't letting me upload a video, and so I was like on it every week. I think that was like 45 or something, and I didn't get to do it every week. So then after that, I mean, once you miss a couple weeks, you're like, whatever. I kind of let it flow naturally now. I also don't want to be drinking beer every week.
No, it's hard. It's hard. It's
so,
hard to do something that level that's taxing on the body.
But now I just kind of do them as is, and I mean, dude, I enjoy it, and if I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't do it. So.
Oh, brother, and that's the epicness there that it intrigues me because it's one of those things that when you say it flows more naturally now, in the world of content creation, and you and I have similar minds. We've been talking about that. There's a natural drive when it comes to a lot of this stuff, and at times we can overwhelm ourselves because we're just, as I put it, too hungry for something.
You want to be too perfect.
Too perfect, or you're rushing too fast into it without slowing down and moving smarter. And so it's nice to hear that it's, if anything, moving in certain ways. You're growing and making it a more natural flow, and then content in general, I think, is better received when it comes off naturally and is more. You can tell this person has either natural energy or is naturally hype about something that. What American isn't hype about drinking beer? Obviously, some people aren't, but even then, you not only beers. I've seen you do some other stuff. We had the Richmond Water we collaborated on there, and
oh yeah, that was fun.
A bunch of stuff there. But heck yeah! So I guess for those that don't know and watching, you run an account called Thicc Bass TV, but I guess the ambiance behind it is living thick.
Yep, live
thick.
thick.
Can you elaborate on what it means to live thick?
So live thick is kind of a mindset, and it doesn't matter whether you live paycheck to paycheck on a John boat or you're sitting on a yacht, right? It's a mindset that can be achieved by all that let go of what doesn't matter. So many people get caught up in these little things. I need to be driving this car. I need to have this job. Or, living thick is saying, look, I have what I have. I'm grateful for it. And I'm going to go out and have a fun time. Go into the river, tubing down a waterfall, hanging out on your John boat with your buddies, hanging under a tree when the storm's coming down, drinking a couple brewskis and the storm passes by. It's the little things, man. It's really a lifestyle brand, and that's what I've tried to make it. And that's why I try to make most of my content very organic. I want it to be like, oh, you're on the John boat with me and we're hanging out. So living thick is just an embodiment. It's a lifestyle, and the boys love it. I'll tell you that.
No, and it's as you were saying that kind of organic content. I saw you last week opening up a beer with a hammer, and it's like the simple things that make sense, and now meshing it with the content world where it's like 20 seconds to 30 seconds is what sells. And so rather than making some like hardo video, it's like I'm just gonna and just let it send, and it feels good. It's
right.
Encouraging positivity, like. Sometimes people may be like, oh, this is too outdoorsy or blah, blah, blah. But it's like, that's okay.
If you're saying something's too outdoorsy, then Thicc Bass TV is not the page for you.
No, exactly. Hence speaking. But no, facts, man. I'm appreciative to have you on here as well.
Yeah, man,
it's epic. We've been talking about this for a little while. We traded the merches.
Yeah, dude, for sure.
The van is cooking along as well.
I love that thing.
I'm surprised you didn't bring it down. That'll have to happen, and soon time come, we'll vice versa.
We're welding on it right now, so I kind of want it just to sit. You know what I mean?
Is there an eventual goal, or is it one of those things that the journey is the destination?
So the goal with the van is to restore it to...
What type of van, for those who don't know as well?
So the Thicc Bass van, I wrote it off on my taxes.
Fuck yeah.
Because every time I take it somewhere, I'm selling merch. I'm going to Daytona, I'm selling merch. I'm spreading the message. I sold like 15 shirts at Daytona, which doesn't seem like a lot, but for a small little page, I mean, I was very excited about that.
No, bro, the write-offs, it's a next level thing, and for those who don't understand, if you do anything business-wise, you can write stuff off. At this moment, I'm in my house, and we're making content, so I plan on writing off certain things in my house. I'm not sure what exactly works.
Yeah, I'll charge you $50 an hour, write that off.
You don't get paid money, but you get money off of your taxes, which can go back to you. So it's like... It's not free money. That was my first thought of like, oh, it's a write-off. It's a write-off.
No, but it's not free money.
That being said, it makes the stuff that you owe the government much less because you're a small business. So think about that.
1980 Ford E250 Econoline van. It's a 4x4. and it got done by Advanced 4x4s out of Salt Lake City. It lived its life as a Utah Power and Light van running the power line. So it's a 3-gear 4x4. And dude, this thing has seen so many times, and it's 44 years old, and it's beautiful. And right now we're just welding new metal on it, and then this winter we're gonna paint it. Shout out Sandblast America in Gainesville, amazing company. My brother works there, and anything you need sandblasted, powder coated, they'll hook you up. So yeah, man, it's honestly, I used to look at it as cumbersome. Oh, I'm working on this van. Then I realized it made my connection with my brother Carl. He's Krusty Carl on the page for everyone who knows, but it made that connection so much stronger, because nothing brings two men together more than working with metal and working with engines and drinking beer, and something goes wrong. And
Well, I'd say struggling over something is where two dudes usually unite.
oh yeah, dude, me and my brother have never been closer in my life, and it's all because of the van.
And it's something not even weird, but I feel like dudes don't usually talk about their emotions, and then it's like when you're doing something else, like yard work or some shit, and you get frustrated, it's like, damn, then it actually comes out that like, yo, such and such happened. You know, my mom's leg just got gangrene, and I'm really struggling right now, or something. You know, whatever it is, but it's those moments that like dudes kind of don't always come out to their friends. I'm a hyper emotional person, so I tell people what's going on when they're like, yo, what's up, Ray? I'm like, oh, I'm dying, man. I'm just tears start flowing. But for certain people and a lot of men that are on the masculinity train, they get stuck in that wave of like, I can't talk about it until it's overflowing. And then having those projects, my dad got a Porsche 911 through our family that like, it's a blessing of a car is exactly that it needs this, that, the third, all these engine pieces. We're just fixed the floorboards that were rotted out and everything, but like.
What year?
96. It's early.
Nice, dude. My dad's got an 84 Porsche 911.
Bro, and they're beautiful pieces of work, but it's
great.
Definitely an old piece of work that needed a lot of love and a lot of money. That like, it took him a little while to sit back, and then now it's moved.
But you guys are becoming closer and working on it, right?
I wish I'd been down in Georgia, but the family down in Georgia, my other brothers are over there helping out. The kids are there doing stuff on the farm, and so it's definitely something that unites the people through having to work on it and a common ground rather than that random shit. But excellent, man. Living thick, which honestly brings us to a moment that is one of the first sponsored moments, other than the JBBR, which was a collaboration, excellent moment, but brings us to the Charged Up moments, sponsored by Charged Up Flagship Store, 106 West Broad. But what makes you charged up? The van makes you charged up, content makes you charged up. Anything on your mind that grinds your gears, or things that you've been waiting to get off your chest?
What makes me charged up, man, is catching thick bass, dude. And I know that sounds cliche, but I'm telling you, bro, when you reel in a freaking bass that's this damn big, after all day trying and failing and trying, it just feels it's oh my god, dude, the adrenaline rush. I tell people all the time, I will never get into hard drugs because of bass fishing, because the feeling of catching a big bass is better than any drug that you can do, and it's rewarding because your hard work pays off. So it gets me fired up, catching thick bass, period.
Boom, angling, man.
That's it.
Have you seen Brutus?
Yeah, I've seen it.
And he honestly,
I've seen that motherfucker.
I love that as you just said that though. He went live on his page, and he went mega viral, and then went live and was like, look, I got off hard drugs because of fishing. That like, instead of doing drugs, I just go to the river and start fishing. The line's
a drug, baby.
No, and then literally now I see it, and it's like, all right, there's definitely days where I can see this guy possibly thinking about going back to drugs. Where it's like he's getting real with it. And he's like, look, man, life sucks.
I was thinking about picking up the meth pipe today, but I just
like,
put on some chicken livers on the line and caught me a catfish.
No, literally, boom, angling. Has a little
man.
a spray painted protractor chain. It's ridiculous. That's angling, man. But no, it's just sometimes those things have the effect, and like, I wouldn't say fishing is a therapy, but my dad was into the outdoors.
No, it is.
We weren't very good at catching, so that's why they call it fishing and hunting. But it was a lot of therapy where you go out, set up, and then you basically are just waiting for something to happen, and like, you're not sitting with your thoughts, but then they're always telling you to shut up because you're going to scare the fish away or scare the ducks. It's like...
Look at my nuts.
But no, it just intrigues me because it's become I wouldn't say a new age therapy, but as I psychoanalyze everything, I'm like,
let me
riff,
if I could have a point.
Go for it.
You said new age therapy, and I'm not gonna go against what you said, but fishing is the oldest
Oh, there's nothing new about
form of. That's why when you fish, your brain shuts off, and you feel so good because people. This might piss some vegans off or whatever, but as humans, as men, we are supposed to hunt. We're supposed to gather. We're supposed to fish, and that's why it feels so good because we've been doing it through our entire lineage on this earth. Like, have you ever thought of it that way?
Oh, bro,
That's why, like, you play video games all day. Like, yeah, you might get a battle royale. It feels good. It's not going to feel as good as catching a big fish.
Well, no, and that human factor, some would say barbaric or whatever, but it's very much the necessities of, like, you need food, shelter, and fire, the three things to stay alive.
If you call fishing barbaric, then having sex is barbaric. It's the oldest form of human.
They're necessities to keep manhood alive. That, like, you have to reproduce, you have to have food. And,
exactly.
Like, it was the Age of Empires where, like, the first thing you do is just set up fishers.
Bro,
and you just have people
don't get me started down the Age of Empires. Hold on. Age of Empires 3, goated, Eric the Red, Vikings, villages, bow, bow, bow.
No,
fucking awesome.
Elite.
We don't even have to go down that rabbit hole. We will get no views.
There's other rabbit holes, but before we
will get no views on that.
My curiosity, what was your guilty pleasure childhood game? Did you have any in mind?
Guilty pleasure?
Well, like, were you a RuneScaper? Were you a Minecraft?
I was Stick Arena.
What is that?
Parch, you know Stick Arena?
I think I've heard of it. I don't think I've played it.
Stick Arena? I used to fuck people up at Stick Arena, dude. Dude, Stick Arena. And, okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to come clean. Fuck, dude. I don't really want this. I was a Club Penguin kid.
Nah, yes. Elite game.
People, sorry. I go to coffee shops, ski down the hill.
No, dude, that was, Neopets, Webkins, another great one. These are.
But yeah, no, I was a Club Penguin, and then when I got into my teenage years, I was more of a Stick Arena guy.
What is Stick Arena? Can you elaborate?
So basically, you got a bunch of stick figures in like a layout, like an office layout or a house layout or whatever, and there's different rooms, and you get different weapons, and you just kill each other, and it's an online live server.
Okay, I was.
But also, God, you can't go down this rabbit hole right now. I think I will say this right now. I will say this right now for all of you out there. Skyrim and Halo 3 were the best 2 games ever made. Don't at me.
No, and those I think critically acclaimed. It's I just want to see what your itch is. Everybody eats.
I mean, dude, I used to love video games. We grew up in the golden age. I think video games now suck because you have to be like skilled. You almost have to like literally like learn like to be good at video games now. You have to like put so much time into it that's not fun. I still have a Nintendo 64, and those games are user friendly.
You have to find the games that are fun for you rather than
new games aren't as nice.
The competitive ones because their kids.
COD.
My nephews are sick, and it's like
Fortnite's fun,
bro. And I love that I love that they've separated that they have the modes now, and they have. Yeah. It's a little too close to VR for me that, like, these kids aren't going out on Friday nights. They're going to a Fortnite lobby and going to the disco or some treat. Because the one thing that amazes me about our generation is that we are the last kids to realize what it was like before video games took over.
Skin your knees.
Oh, falling out of trees. Where it's
out of them.
Like, literally, I would not come home.
Eat your neighbor's berries off the bush and be like, I don't give a fuck what this is, you know?
Little red ones, I shouldn't have.
No, like those little blackberries and the honeysuckles and all that, man.
Well, allegedly, Martin was saying the berries in my yard are mulberries. And so
those are good. You can make pie out of that.
Well, dude, that's what allegedly my stepdad makes pie out of it. Did you hear about the Hollywood buck? The huge buck, mega antlers, R.I.P. Condolences.
Hollywood Cemetery?
Dude,
the dude killed it.
They named a buck because if he like.
Dude went to jail, right?
Bro, he used to eat the mulberries in my backyard. And like when I first moved in, it was a ceremonial thing where like I was like, dude, there's a giant ass deer that shows up here like
a 12-point or something like that.
Oh, 38 I think is the official, and it was
not a 38.
No, bro, insane, non-symmetrical.
Like 500 pounds, motherfucker.
Yeah, beast, wildebeest style.
And some dude killed it, and he went to jail, right?
I would say he killed it because in seeing this thing, it's a beauty of nature that like.
Did he go to jail though?
Yeah, they just put him in jail. I think he had 7 years, and it's reduced to like 3 or something.
It's insane he gets 7 years for that, but like
hunting licenses are gone forever.
People like touch kids and shit and get licensed.
Bro, fact though. I mean, I agree. It's a shame because they should.
I think pedophiles need a death penalty.
They should have somewhat put some type of marking on this deer to let people know that like this is a protected deer.
Yeah, give it like a sweater or something.
No, a chain or something that like let it. It's got a choker, fucking like. But no, it was an epic fucking deer. And so when I first moved in, I was like, bro, if I ever get the chance to wrestle this thing, like I'm taking it down. But like, no chance.
Take down the deer.
No chance. I'm ever using any weapons. But then it makes sense that some guy and
you can't wrestle a deer, bro. I think it'll fuck you up.
Dude,
A
it'll
doe
puncture
will
my
fuck you
eyes,
up, bro. They have those little hooves and shit.
No, but then literally they raided the guy's house, or they searched his house, and they found that he had 3 other deer that came from somewhat protected areas, where it's like he was clearly a trophy hunter rather than like an honest man.
Yeah.
And it's just a damn shame of it. But I'll show you a picture of that deer. It's fucking epic. R.I.P. Mulberry's in the backyard. That's the way she goes. All right. Charged up moment. JBBR's triple crossing. I mean, shit, baby. It's Richmond. You for those who don't know, we're based out of Richmond. I have opportunities to go abroad, and eventually, as we were talking, I think to get this thing where I want it to be, I might take it abroad more so. But you are knowledgeable about Richmond and also have opinions, and so one of my favorite questions to ask people on this podcast, and something that is actually available to be done if you go to PBR, not the beer, not Public Bull Riding, not Pizza Beer Richmond, the People's Budget of Richmond. The people of Richmond have $3 million to do something to Richmond based on our suggestions. And so if I gave you $3 million, how would you better the city of Richmond right now?
$3 million. I mean, dude, I think that you could spend $3 million on river cleanup and restoration and making the water better quality and getting the trash up. And, dude, I think the river's the heart of the city. And you don't have a river anymore. You don't have a city anymore. And someone told me today they were just at the river and it smelled like shit.
We don't
want a river that smells like shit. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna drop the mic there.
I mean, anything else is just ridiculous because you have a healthy river, you have a healthy city.
Shake my hand.
All right.
Shake my hand. That.
Shake my hand.
Bro, the timeliness of what you just said and the eliteness. So I don't know if you have been in tune. You probably saw something. I think you responded to my thing about it that at this current moment, Texas Beach, and we can go to it just down the road, there is a giant metal gate that is blocking anyone from crossing the bridge. I think that's good.
There's too many like hula hoopers with purple hair down there littering.
Okay, so that's access one that I think.
When I first moved to Richmond,
Texas Beach
no
is
one
a
went
gym.
to Texas Beach.
Texas Beach is
Yeah,
a
but you
gym.
can still get there. Just now that keeps all the like frat bros and like purple-haired EDM chicks out. You just want to rizz up at the beach.
No,
my house. Go to EDM Island.
My house is half a mile from
Texas
Texas
Beach. You can still
Beach.
get there.
Yeah, but I have to go to Pump House, which is 2 miles away, and then walk my ass back.
Pump House is goated.
It's elite, and don't get me wrong, but
it's goated.
The fact that I have to do the full loop now to get to where I want to go really annoys me. And
hey,
it's
but look, you're looking slim.
No,
you're looking slim.
And so we'll get to that.
I mean,
is
he fat, chat?
Well,
but in the.
We're going to do a t-shirt swap at the end of this, so you'll see. We'll like and W's in the chat. That being said, but no, so Texas Beach is the first one that is now cut off, and that's been cut off for a year.
It was a low-key spot back in like 2013, 14, 15, 16.
Me.
And then social media came out. People said Texas Beach, and then everyone started going there instead of Belle Isle. I remember when I was at VCU.
One second. So that one has been closed down for a year. And so now, as of last week, I understand that the pipeline, which was originally
sketchy spot,
good fishing, really good striper or whatever whatever runs down there.
If you know, you know.
The
flathead.
The shad run down there goes crazy.
Oh,
too.
nuts.
But that being said, they just put up a new gate at Pipeline, cutting off Pipeline, and so now 2 of Richmond's gems are cut off, and that Texas Beach and Pipeline. And Pipeline is a source of controversy at this moment.
Texas Beach though, because apparently the bridge is not stable, bro. If someone dies on that bridge.
And that so from user experience, and I guess I'm going to say AI generated video because I did not cross the bridge and go over that. But one of the stairs is broken, and so if someone were to fall through the stairs and die, very much the city of Richmond is liable.
Yeah,
and they're getting sued through the ass. But the amount of money it takes them to fix that bridge versus them postponing it until when they're able to make it less of a spot, less known, it's bullshit. But then they just did that to Pipeline where they're like, hey, the E. coli break because of this overflowing, blah, 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 It's actually the Pooh River
That's
down
something
there.
that needs to get addressed, and I think $3 million could be a good start to that.
And it's perfect time that you say that. The time that it is one of the features that I think makes Richmond the best is that
If there
we
wasn't a
have
river here, no one would come here. It'd be like
Oh.
Petersburg.
Oh, wait a second. Oh, so I want a historical fact.
Is it Petersburg?
Historical fact. Fact. Petersburg is not accessible to water. The purpose and the importance of Richmond is because it is the highest point on the James River that you can bring cargo boats. And so literally boats come up, they stop south side and then unload now. But they literally used to go all the way up into Rockets Landing, all that bullshit that literally the importance and the main facet of the city is that it is a giant waterway.
Trade.
That's excellent. Oh,
Yeah.
and speaking of trade, it is one of the only points in the United States. I think it's one of 3 or one of 5 points where there is 3 train sections that meet. Where there's one that goes north,
A lot of trains
one
here.
that goes south towards Louisiana, and then 95 north and south that like.
And that's why we get the homeless, because they fucking hop on that train and say, Richmond, let's try this out. And honestly, bro, if I was homeless, I'd love living in Richmond.
Oh, dude, it's interesting. You say
I
that.
would
I had
have so much fun, dude.
I had a very interesting.
If I was homeless.
I had a very interesting interaction this week where this guy basically showed up in the shop that I was working at and was trying to prove to me, but more so I could just tell that he was out of touch with reality. And he's like, look, man, I've been in jail for 35 years, 8 months,
So
and
prison.
7 days. Prison.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's like, oh yeah, I went in, and I was like, damn, I'm 28 years old. You went in jail before I was born. I can't imagine what type of world you saw when you went in to get out last fucking week. And then they're giving you iPads and cell phones that they're like, hey man, this is how you do everything. And he just has no idea. And he's like, look man, I just need $20 because I need to go get my phone fixed, and then I'm going to the VA and I'm gonna get right. And I was like, all right, honestly, bro, like you don't even have to show me that you are a veteran.
$20 to get your phone
Well,
fixed?
so he was saying
He didn't know, yeah.
no, well, no, he went to them and gave them the same spiel that like he pulled out his ID, he pulled out his veteran card, all this stuff, and was like trying to vet himself, prove that he was a veteran who's now homeless and someone just stole his shit. And I was like, bro, I trust you. Like you seem actually cognizant, more so just out of touch with nature. That like you went to the phone store, they said it was $150, they then broke it down to $50 because they trust you as a veteran. That like you seem like a good enough guy. Could you imagine getting out of a
years,
time
he must
machine?
have killed somebody.
No, well, he said that was his thing. I was like, oh, where are you from? I was like, I'm from Northern Virginia. I spent 4 years in Newport News. We're going to Christopher Newport, but I spent 4 years there. I didn't come back to Northern Virginia after that, and that kind of educated me to the real world. And then now I'm in Richmond, where it's a merger of both. And he's like, oh, I was down in Newport News, Suffolk, Hampton, but like I really didn't fuck with the drug dealers, so I started robbing the drug dealers, and then I killed one of them, and then they got me, and I was like, all right, well that. You know,
Damn,
he had no shame in it that he was.
based.
He was. I mean, he's the Batman of the fucking hood. Like
That's pretty based,
Yeah,
yeah.
but I was like, all right, man. I got $20. I don't need it. Sounds like you need it more. Like I'm gonna pay it forward, put a little good karma. But it amazed me because one of the things he brought up to my attention, and I'm curious upon the statistics and how relevant. But he was saying that Richmond has one of the per capita highest homeless people rates right now.
Really?
And it is
not like San Diego, San Francisco, not San Francisco, LA.
Well, I think one of those
Southern
things,
California.
I think some of those places have more people compared to the homeless, whereas we have more homeless compared to in a ratio wise. And it's like I know Richmond per capita has, I believe, the second most tattoo parlors per capita behind Las Vegas.
Yeah, I don't know anyone who's not tattooed except for fucking Parks.
No, he's clean. He's pure. He's our virgin sacrifice. It's the Equinox. Don't show my mom. I have a couple under my pants, but like, it's just one of those ones that it's.
Your mom doesn't like it.
They don't know. My parents don't know yet.
Hey, Ray's mom.
So when we said second team, that's an interesting historical fact, and as someone from the DMV, and actually that'll be another question of what is the DMV. My curiosity is
I
the
hate that
DMV.
shit.
No one knew about the Nationals until about
Bro, don't
2010. The
we got
Orioles,
Strasburg and Bryce Harper.
That's when it happened.
That is when we
the
got on the-
Nationals became a team.
I went to the first ever Nationals game in DC. Fun fact.
When was that? Elaborate. Tell me more.
2000. Oh my God, was it
2005,
5 or
bro.
6?
Not even a fan.
Shout out our producer Parks. Next,
How is Parks chirping me right now?
Well,
Should we put the gloves on and go to the backyard
I'll
now?
be a bigger Nats fan.
we're locker
I'm a bigger Nats fan than you. Do you have a Nats tats on
Wait
your
a
ass?
second. Let's
Hey,
simmer
FBA.
down.
I went to opening day. You didn't even go.
I was there.
In 05?
Simmer down.
I was 8.
Yeah, he was definitely there. He was.
Oh, yeah, I was like 10 or
Parks,
11, buddy.
Parks
Relax.
is our local logician. He speaks in logic and fact.
Yeah.
Sometimes people don't like it. Sometimes
He doesn't speak in fact with some of his money line
Whoa.
bets.
Sometimes
I'll tell you,
using
I
logic,
think everybody needs a new picker for the sports.
Oh, okay, so let me. This is we'll get.
I went
we'll,
there.
We'll go.
If you want to say I'm not a Nats fan, we'll go there.
I'll
We'll
start
go
the
there.
3-minute timer on this conversation.
No, we'll go there.
The Sports XXL chat
I'm with you.
is going to be revived, and I love Parks picks, but
I
personally,
like when you guys were on the couch and Martin just sitting there chugging ginger ales.
And I hate to say Martin is what ruined it, but Martin is the last person. He was on the last Sports XXL that we filmed during the March Madness, and it went horrible. I sat there and made a very funny video out of it, and I have yet to release it. It's saved in my Dropbox now. We're literally.
What did he do?
It was ridiculous, and I love Martin. It was out of love, but my main thing is that like if you're gonna participate, just try and be on camera. And like Parks is producing right now, so I don't
No,
mind
I
him being
remember
off.
that you were mad because he kept participating, but he wasn't on camera. He kept saying no.
In the clip,
He
I
kept saying
clipped
no.
it. There
Yeah,
was
he kept-
4 times where I was like,
Yeah.
Barton, all I ask is just come get on camera.
He kept chirping.
And then he gets on camera.
Kinda like
has a
Parks right now
Japan
chirping
flag,
at me.
And straight up just moons Parks and I with
I remember that.
the Eye of Sauron. I have one
Hey,
too.
let me
and
say
so
something though to Parks though.
He
I said
basically-
05, 06, and he goes, "You're not a real fan." He's not. He's not even on the pod. How can he chirp me like that?
Okay, respect. Oh, he's logician. He did have the facts.
But you know I'm a real fan.
He is. He has it tatted on his ass. Walgreens for life. But this being said,
I said
so,
05, 06. I was
that
like,
being said,
I was like 10 or 11, bro.
The gist of the story is that the Sports XXL podcast
XXX.
needs to be revived as a talk show for guys to do dude stuff.
Put me on.
No,
I can talk about sports all day, man.
Oh, bro, and that's where I want to talk about sports because I've been so diving into the Everybody Eats Entertainment brand with Everybody Speaks being a offset, the live sets Everybody Beats being an offset.
Campfire emoji?
It is. A campfire, a heart, money sign picture. We got Brother Bear Kevin and Jorge the Turtle over there. Sponsored by Falcon Smash and Triple Crossing this episode.
Nice.
The local sponsors are Charged Up, 106 West Broad for artist merch and hip hop news.
That's Jackson Ward, correct?
It's in the yeah, and then
It's
also shout out Fuzzy Forcefield Sweatshirt Co. What dope guy? He makes sick art. It's upscaled clothing, but they're dope as fuck. And so I gotta shout out the homies. None of these people paid for shout outs. They deserve shout outs. I'm giving them shout outs.
Hey, speaking of shout outs, man.
Please.
Can we go Station 10 barber for this damn mullet?
No, respectfully.
Station 10 barber.
And can I say that they set the tone for the day? It sounded like your barber really had good intentions for you and was encouraging you to live thick.
Julia's the best, so it's actually a funny story. It's actually not funny, but it's interesting. My old barber, Charlie, he used to work at Main Street Barber. He unfortunately passed away at an early age of 60-something. He always was like, "Man, you got thick hair, man." He was the coolest dude. When you think about a Richmond old head, this guy was that. He was just the coolest guy, best haircut ever. And then he used to live with Julia in the 90s. And then Julia took over his chair at Main Street.
Okay.
So I started going to her. Now she opened her own barbershop on Robinson. So it's awesome. The vibes in there are peak. They're elite. Best haircut in the city. I stand by it. And I've been to other places, not going to name any names. But Station 10's where you got to go.
No, respectfully,
Yeah.
and I'd say Venture Salon in Carytown is currently where Martin and I get our hair done. That being said, we have
really?
well,
I'm just
we
kidding.
have inside ties with a friend of a friend,
Nice.
and Diane and Sherry keep us.
Well, look at
keep
this.
us
I live in Arlington, Virginia. I drive down to Richmond to go to Station 10. That's how much I love Julia.
Think about that. Think
about that,
Think
guys.
about that. Camera
Well,
one,
no,
camera two.
I mean, she's great. She's great. But dude, I can't trust other people to give me a mullet. I went up to a place in Northern Virginia, and I told the lady, I said, "All right, I want a 1 to a 3 and an inch off the top," and she just goes shaves my mullet off.
Wow.
And this spring, I literally was like, "What are you doing?" So I
Well,
can't
you know
trust
the
anyone.
mathematics behind it too. That like
I can't trust anyone.
I usually will give them a picture of a mullet that I want, but the problem is that my hair stands up a lot more. Kind of like in very mullet-esque, but if I go too short, the blonde you can't see it.
You're talking
I'll
about
be-
here on the sides?
I'll be honest, I'm starting to recede.
Holy moly,
I'm starting to
Ray.
recede, but I was like, you
You
know,
need some Rogaine, my guy.
bro, I did Rogaine for a little bit. Okay, this is honestly, I'm curious if people know this
You
one.
look like a biblical character, man.
No, it's the stress, man.
You look
The
like
stress of
Moses,
trying to
dude.
make everybody eat, man. It's the way she goes.
Well, apparently he's eating at your hairline.
No, respect, man. No, my friend was saying that if you crack an egg on the top of your head, allegedly the enzymes
He's
kinda,
trying to fuck with you. I think.
That's what I thought. I was like, this looks like a meme that, like, if anything, I kind of want to just do it for sport, but allegedly cracking an
Yeah,
egg.
you stick your cock in the mayonnaise jar, it'll grow, right?
No, that's what they said. Welcome back to Everybody Eats Presents Everybody Speaks. This is your host, Ray Reddy, and I'm here with Thicc Bass, the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend. He only catches fucking stripers and trophy fish. Simple as that. He's been in Richmond for less than 3 to 5 hours, and I'll say this. He's bagging anything he wants, taking names, cashing checks, and snapping necks, everything about it. Eric, brother, excellent. You are excellent.
I executed
I love
today.
your I love your
definitely-
energy.
Yeah.
I love your energy because you have a bubbly and vivaciousness about you that
Yeah, big word.
attracts people to you and it's an attractive
And
energy.
turns some people off. But
Respect
they're
for-
the people I don't want in my circle, and I don't want them eating with me.
and respect, and that's and the word of the day, or something that I try and remind myself regularly, is that I have a large table and I love everybody, but after the first plate, sometimes I say
Last
first
Supper kind of shit?
first couple plates. Hopefully there's no Last Suppers because I have a meal every night.
Bro, have you seen the Last Supper painting like in Milan?
There's I mean there's
Dude, it is
not the most.
beautiful.
You're saying like the Jesus at the table.
Dude, it's beautiful.
My shout out RVA Philly Steaks and Gyro for having it on a floor mat, and then they put the floor mat on the wall. But it's an epic photo. I don't think of myself that way, but it's like I build a giant platform for people
Bro,
to
you
come and
look
eat.
like one of Jesus'
But
disciples, dog,
but
with
if
that fucking
people
haircut.
if people take from my plate and don't put something else on, or don't add something to that plate, or add something to my table.
And it doesn't have to be monetary.
Oh hell, it's very very far from monetary, and that
Exactly.
like I've been very blessed in my life, and I have no shame in admitting the blessings that I have, and it's the awareness that
I mean, look at here. We're in your house, bro. You bought a freaking house,
to be
dude.
and to be
Everyone,
in,
the American dream is the American dream is to purchase a house.
no, and we timed it perfectly, and I'm blessed to be in
What'd
a
he say?
situation where my mother can help me purchase a house. I'm not some business guru or anything like that. My mother is a self-made woman.
Wait.
And help me.
Wait. I thought you were a business guru, dog.
No, you dealt with the merch. I didn't show you the merch.
Yeah,
No,
Dude, I'm out of here, dude.
But no, it's one of those things that, and it exposed me when Richmond said, when it got put on New York Times as being the second hardest place in America to buy a house if you were a Gen Z person. And it's like, we jumped in a year before that as it was starting to ramp up.
Yeah.
But I very much see it because it's one of these things that I'm using my platform and building a studio so that way the blessings that I can have are able to be used for better and stuff like that. But it gets away from the idea that everybody eats. It's all about what you bring to the table. And I'm not saying I don't need money, but it's more so very much I would rather
Energy.
see what you bring to the table energy-wise than being someone that's like, oh, well, I'll pay, like, I fuck up, I'm paying $20. It's like, if you fuck up 2 or 3 times, money doesn't solve being a shitty person.
No.
And so it intrigues me to see because you naturally attract this fun energy, and it's very loud and sometimes overwhelming. But as you just elaborated there, that it's sometimes those people aren't meant to be sitting at your table where you want to be going, and so I fucking love that, brother.
I've chilled out a lot too, though. This last few years, I look back at videos of when I lived in Richmond. I'm like, oh my god, I was like, dude, I was wild. but I'll tell you, back to the house thing. The biggest regret I have, probably during COVID or maybe during my life, is not buying a house in Richmond during COVID because the houses were dirt cheap. And even though it would have been a stretch at the time, I would have been sitting here going, wow, I'm so glad I did that. And my dad even said, buy a house. I said, dude, you're young, You're like,
Well,
I don't want to buy a house right now. But if I did, I'd
What's
be
the equity?
It would have gone up by 2 times,
Well, and it's the crazy part to me is that the main limiting factor in getting a house for many people is the down payment, that you have to have a large amount to do this, and there's loans that you can get, and we got the first time home buyers loan, the FFP or whatever.
Yeah, from Navy
But
Federal.
then, no, we went through, I forget exactly who. I have the paperwork sitting right over there. But
don't even remember who got his loan.
no, it was First FS, First Savings, Home Mortgage, whatever. And like they're dope company, but it was a lot of things that I was unaware of. And so there's the scare of it, and then there's also the monetary factor that like deter people. But then once you are in this bitch, it is effectively paying rent to yourself. Where over time, when you say, "Hey, I'm gonna sell," instead of having that money go to someone else, it's like, damn, I've actually been saving this money by paying it in property that like. Wouldn't say is something we're taking from the world, but it amazed me to see how the companies are starting to buy up so much of this property, and then now it's taking the idea
like
of ownership.
BlackRock and shit.
BlackRock, I mean, Thalhilmer is one that like if you look at any building on the East Coast, you see the Thalhilmer, Cushman, and like all these big companies that are taking the idea and making us renters and much less owners, and then much less able to stack equity over time, where you're paying yourself and like. I'm blessed. It's the epitome of it. But you said some interesting things, more so, and it's about, I think, the city of Richmond. And I mean, Richmond is booming. I give it possibly 2 booms. Boom, boom.
No, bro, that's out of 5.
5? You think 5? But it's...
No, I'm saying it depends on what you're looking at, man.
Well, tell me more. Why do you think Richmond is booming right now?
I think Richmond is booming because once COVID happened and the telework happened... See, I'm an opposite guy. I was living in Richmond during COVID. Then I moved up to Arlington because I work remote. You know what I mean? But I think people were like, wow, this place is very genuine. It's very cool. It's very laid back. The second I get into Richmond, and I'm not just saying this, I'm a very genuine guy. I wear my heart on my sleeve. The second I get into Richmond, my chest loosens up. When I'm in Nova, driving in traffic all the time, my chest is very tight. I get down here, I loosen up, I go to my barber, Julia. She's asking me about my life, and we're hanging out, you know.
It's a much more casual.
And it's chill. And like everyone, for the most part, is so nice. So nice. And so inviting. And I will say, you said how Richmond's changed. I think it's getting more preppy. When I went to college here and I first got here, it was very grungy. House shows and punk and all that. And it's still got elements here, obviously, but it's gotten a lot more preppy. And you got Scott's Addition where, you know, apartments are $2,200. And it's like the same price as living in Arlington or, you know, or Alexandria or DC. So it's like, and you got a big tech population in Scott's Addition, which isn't a bad thing. We love our Hokies,
it's
but
slowly. Oh, that type of tech. I thought you were talking about media tech.
no, I'm talking about tech. Yeah,
well, it's becoming this fad to move to Richmond, and then it's funny because the people with money, that no one has dubbed that corner the 4 corners of Richmond, but it is, as I see it, you have Scott's Addition, the Diamond District, the Fan, and then Carytown. And it is
you're missing Jackson Ward though.
Well, and that's a different spot. It's like I mean, Virginia isn't part of the 4 corner states, or it's Mexico, whatever those 4. It's like that is a unique section of Richmond that is met by Boulevard and
Jackson
Arthur
Ward's
Ashe.
very unique.
Oh well, that's a different animal. But I'm saying that Arthur Ashe and Broad Street intersection divides 4 different sections of the city.
I see what you're saying.
That Scott's Addition has greatly grown within the last 10 years. I mean. When I moved to Richmond 8 years ago, it was almost nothing. Yeah. And it is now its own beast right now. And then you're seeing this thing where people want to come to Richmond, but there's not enough space for them to actually move in because Richmond wasn't comfortable, but you had like no shit around here. And now, I don't think it's preppy, but there's more money coming in, creating more housing. More housing is expensive. And so it's having this like shift where... Unfortunately, I feel like the grungy people are slowly getting pushed out of Richmond as there's less affordable housing and more shit that's like $1,300, $1,400 for a single bedroom that, you know, in the previous years was a New York style apartment that was maybe $900 all inclusive or some shit. But it intrigues me to see the way the shift is happening. The people from Nova, I mean, people from all over.
I say it like this, man. So there's a couple things going on here, man. So Richmond used to be the place where young people retired. And that's why you see the vibe that you see in Richmond. It's when people are like, man, fuck it. I want to go get a server job. And I want to be able to pay my rent and have fun and do the things I like, photography, skateboarding, fishing, whatever it may be.
Fucking off.
And,
I'm gonna go
and you
fuck
could
off
work,
for the
and
weekend.
you used to be able to. Like I remember my brother lived above Garnett's, 1 bedroom above Garnett's, that corner,
Yeah, that's prime
for
time.
$700. That was in like 2014.
For those who don't know, that's 2 blocks away from VCU's main campus, on a townhouse area that, I mean,
Beautiful house.
elite location, elite restaurant underneath that, like $700 is insane to think about.
Yeah, I don't want to know what that would go for now.
Oh,
but
and we were paying $650 when I first moved here, and I was like, "This is insane."
It used to be $500 for a room was like the going rate when I was in college. Even it was like $500 a room. Period. You have $500 a month. You can live a life. You can hang out, and yeah, like you said, it shifted. But also, you see people going to like Forest Hill now. Like a lot of my friends live in Forest Hill.
The South Side, and honestly,
like South Hill Banks, man. They live in Forest Hill. Those guys are awesome.
I don't want to say it. And I saw something very interesting. I think it was either you or someone else that reposted it about it, like areas that don't fit the region. And they said Arlington and Charlotte being that, like, it's just become industrial. Manchester is starting to get that way, and I feel very bad for them because it's cheap land. And so now they're building these fancy apartment complexes and bullshit like that. But like,
I stay away from Manchester.
Driving down there was an ABC Chipotle. It's a mix, and it's a dope little square.
I stay
but
away
it really,
from Manchester.
Oh, understandable. And a lot of people do. But like Philly vegans down there, there's some excellent food. The best food in Richmond happens to be South Side. If you're true enough to go down there.
Wait, in Manchester?
No, not in Manchester. South Side. Everyone, and let me say, I'm not going to sit here and argue about it. But everyone I've talked to that is a real Richmonder says that Southside is the truer and honestly seems to be the more soulful and captivating of the two.
I'm talking about like where Fuzzy Cactus is? Or is that North Side?
I want to say Fuzzy Cactus is over on the West End, is it not?
No, it's not West End.
I've never been there, but I saw Hip Hop Henry.
Like it's by Battery Park, whatever that is. That's East End?
Battery Park, I want to say, is North Side over near.
Side, yeah.
This shows, I won't even say.
I haven't lived here for a while, so.
Chamberlain.
I've heard Mosby's great this time of year. I was gonna say I thought it was North Side near the corners, which like.
It's like
Wait, when you say South Side, are you talking about Forest Hill?
No, yes, Forest Hill. As soon as you jump over the south of the river is where.
Have you been to Rock Falls Tavern? Best pizza in the city. Dart bar. You can smoke inside. Drinks are dirt cheap. It's amazing. We can go. We can go tonight.
We're talking about the times are changing. There's not enough dart bars where you can smoke.
They have a
darts.
dart pro shop.
Can you smoke darts or no? That wasn't what you were saying.
Dart bar, 2 sides, non-smoking, smoking.
Okay,
you can
good.
Smoke darts inside.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And
you were
they
saying.
have a pro shop where you can buy darts.
Okay, fuck yeah. Okay,
And
it's a lost cause. I don't say lost cause, but
why are you shaking your head?
I've heard of the Lions Den.
Park shaking his head.
I've heard of the Lions Den.
Huh?
It is.
Like
Well, that's all right, Parks. That's fine.
It's okay if you don't like SIGs, Parks, but sometimes you have to deal with the SIGs so you can enjoy the culture of a place.
But no, it just intrigues me because the times are changing in Richmond, and
they've been changing for probably about 4 years now.
No, and
Easy
for sure,
probably 7.
100%. Well, and there's many. I've talked about the politics, and I had people freaking knock on my door today talking about trying to vote for Roday, and I was like, look, I love the idea. Honestly, I don't want to say, and I know the least about politics, but if I had to advocate for anyone right now, I'm advocating for Maurice Niblett from Richmond.
Who's that?
He's some OG, but he is the least amount raised because he is a Richmonder doing this shit from Richmond.
Ready for city council.
Roday.
Who's Roday? What's he
Roday, all I know is that he's earned the most amount of money out of the campaign portfolio, and then there's a couple other good ones. But like, I'm not politics. I'm a person, and I care about people, and it's a shame that things have gotten political in this world because I think it takes us away from helping
What
people.
I don't like in this world, and I'll keep it very vague.
Well, can you say what makes you
What I don't like is people don't actually.
Shout out charged up.
People don't actually look at policy anymore. That's the problem. If you sat down and you looked at policy of every single person you voted for, you probably vote a little differently. That's all I'm going to say because policy matters, man. Like if you want Richmond to change, vote for someone who's going to make a change.
Oh, and it intrigues me to see because there was something recent. I'm trying to think of who is the account that posted it that was a unabridged, unfiltered of like, hey, this is who they are. Because Danny Avila is another one. He was a Richmond health professional, And then Maurice Niblett is a Richmonder that sounds like he was a community activist that is running for it out of his own fruition. And then Rodet was in some type of council and knows how to maneuver money. I'm curious if it'll work, but like it's one of these things. There's who's the bald guy? The bald guy, honestly, he has some good logic to it. That and you were speaking to this earlier. You asked me what podcasts there are in the city that are really going. And I got to shout out the ones. This is the Everybody Speaks podcast. But if you love Richmond and you love that content, the 804 podcast, one of the most elite podcasts coming out right now, and this guy's killing it, the Randy Wilson podcast. Guy has a radio show, but then also has interviewed all of the people running for council, all of this stuff. It's very, very professional. I shout out Randy Wilson to this kid. You were saying there was no one doing it. When I came up with the idea, smart minds, good times, 18-year-old from Henrico, hit the floor running. He then got so big that he's now not even touring, but I'm pretty sure he just moved out to Texas to start interviewing MMA people because he went to UFC and then interviewed one or two trainers, and they're like, yo, dude, we need more people that are making content. It's this passion that, like, there's people out in the city doing this shit. I don't know if anyone has the aspirations to do this quite as hungry as I am, but that's exactly why I think I'm going to be the best podcast, and that's why I had to partner with the best beer, Falcon Smash. Shout out Triple
Best
Crossing.
beer. Whoa!
But that brings me to another segment.
I'm not even an IPA guy.
No.
And I like Falcon Smash. I'm not an IPA guy, and I like Falcon Smash.
It's
Let that sink in.
Hands down the best beer in Richmond. There was a viral content I saw recently that said, what's the best beer in Richmond? And then my friend Mike, the guy that
Definitely the most well
one,
known.
well, he commented on it and said Falcon Smash best beer, and it had 700 likes under the thing. And I was like, all right, that.
Well, this was ahead of the hazy revolution. Falcon Smash came out before hazies were even cool. And then when hazies were cool, 2017 for me was like when everyone was like, we need a hazy.
Well, I feel like,
and then Falcon Smash was the best hazy still.
I feel like it kind of epitomizes Richmond, where we do a lot of things before it is cool to do things.
Yeah, bro.
When it's this is problem.
No,
right
dude,
now.
I liked that before it was cool. Bro.
It's a problem that, like, sometimes to be cool you have to do things purely for the feel good or the love of the game.
That's all I do.
And then it gets ruined when corporate money comes in and they start investing and they're asking you to do this stuff. And that's where I think Richmond has thrived, being the epitome of that, where it's like, we don't give a fuck. We literally don't give a fuck. So they're doing it because it's cool. You start the Hazy's revolution, and then it's like, now people are flooding Richmond because they're like, oh, craft beer, like, we want to be craft beer. Oh, oh, I mean, the Diamond District. Oh, this. It's like there's opportunity here because it's been kept this gem.
I think that Richmond's probably like a top craft beer city in the country, man.
Easily,
100%. But Legend Brewery is up for sale, and the recipes are up for sale, and all that.
I was gonna say, so I guess we're drinking craft beer, but my question is, so you
know you're drinking craft beer.
You're a craft beer aficionado. In another moment, sponsored by craft beer, Triple Crossing. This is the Falcon Smash. We're gonna Falcon Punch. What was your favorite Smash Bros character when you were growing up?
Link. You can throw the thing. You can do the chain and jump. You can spin around. I mean,
the charged up B move, the B side.
Now, if your boy sucked at Smash, and you just wanted to like troll him, my favorite Nintendo character ever is DK. You would just pick DK, just bash him.
Load up the B.
If you're against your boy who's like pretty good, you're going Link.
I think Link,
because Link's got the most weapons in his arsenal.
Oh, well, that I was a big Kirby.
And I also like to shoot him with the fox.
People hated me being Kirby because I would just down B.
I do.
And the floating.
You were the guy that would suck them in.
No, I wouldn't. I mean, I would for sport, honestly.
I hate Kirby. I hate playing against Kirby. I hate people that pick Kirby. He looks like Jigglypuff.
No, and if you do the down B, either the star bomb or just the drop the rock, I would get in the rhythm of just dropping the rock on, like boom, 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 and it was definitely trolling, kind of OD. I understand. Okay, respect. I appreciate that. Getting into gaming as well. What was did you have any other, and 64 games, Wii games, what do you do, how do you release currently? What is your forms of humanity? Where do you find yourself both decompressing, and then where do you find yourself jumping into the nether regions? What makes you...
So decompressing for me is country music videos on YouTube and bourbon. And then
Not Tavon Austin videos.
when the
We're
boys
talking about.
when the boys are over and we have a couple beers in us, I love a little Mario Kart,
Okay.
a little Pokemon Stadium.
Quality.
Rips.
Quality.
It just there's something about Pokemon Stadium, man. It just takes you back to your childhood. But Mario Kart, man, Mario Kart is it's elite, man.
Do you think what if you had to be a gym leader in Pokemon? What do you think your gym would be the house of, or would the gym the steel gym, electric? You know, the Thicc Bass. I guess it might possibly
Probably
fishing.
water. Yeah, I like Squirtle a lot, man. That's my boy. Shout out Squirtle. He's really cool.
I was at a festival last weekend, and this one girl straight up introduced
squirreled
her.
on you?
No, well she said her name was Squirtle, and my dad
And you were like,
just looked at each other and giggled for a second, and it was a humanizing moment when she said that, and I was like, that's a good. We all know what you're going
We
with
can
there,
only
but,
imagine why her name was Squirtle.
That's a unique way to introduce yourself to some unique folks, but fuck yeah, man. I guess shit, man. I guess before I even not kick you off, but I guess is there anyone you want to shout out? You have camera 3 over here, that small guy. If anything, camera 2 is also going. We're at Everybody Speaks, presented by Everybody Eats. We actually have a producer behind camera right now, Devin. Shout out Luke, who sometimes helps. JK, I love Luke. Luke helps a bunch. But is there anyone that you want to shout out into one of those cameras real quick? Say hi, Mom, or any of that BS? Anyone?
Probably Julie.
Julia. Great cuts.
Get it fucking right.
Great cuts in the city. Great cuts in the city.
If people want to follow you, how do they find out more about you?
Thicc Bass TV. Hey, give him the spin around, man. Give him the twirl on the shirt.
Oh, this is straight. Yeah, continue.
So
narrating,
we
please.
got Jared, a mural artist here in
We
Richmond,
have the full screen.
who
We're gonna
created
pull
this.
down.
It's like a skeleton on acid fishing. It's very cool.
get a little
And then we
closer
also
to
have
yours.
shirts made by Crud City, Richmond's own. 2 of my good friends. They make great merch. It's hand printed here in Richmond, Virginia. These ain't Gildan's, guys. These are American Apparel, and you can only get them on Thicc Bass TV, link in bio.
Well, so and one of the things I recognized early in this game, but I think you're recognizing in this too, is that there's a bit of a I wouldn't say a business to this, but if you're taking that entrepreneurial jump, you have to find ways to make money, and rather than like being some of my shirts that everybody eats when they're simple and funny, but making art is different.
It's
where
art.
it's like there's an art to this and an ambiance that like when I put this on, I'm ready to have a good time. This is one of my fancy shirts, and I say like.
That's a fancy shirt for you.
Well, I mean, I like the black and white is a simple tones, and
Yeah.
so it does the things the right way, but it's excellent. I appreciate you stopping by, making dope shit, having the energy that you are. I'd say, I guess, that was a nice little belch there. Shout out Falcon Smash. It's delicious. Feeling right. If you had to give yourself advice 10 years ago that you wish you had gotten, what would you tell yourself?
Just do it.
Just do it! Stop waiting. Dude, I watched the Shia LaBeouf
Just do
video
it.
yesterday.
Just do it.
And that shit fucking got me
No,
going.
period. Just do it. Just do it. But I don't have a lot of regrets, man. I mean,
Not regrets,
growing
advice.
up, yeah.
What advice would you give to yourself as a energetic soul?
Don't let people get under your skin as easily, because if people don't want you to win, you shouldn't care about their opinion. If they want you to win, and then they give you advice, hey man, you really should be doing this a little differently, take their advice. But if people don't want you to win and they're telling you stuff, just ignore them. Just ignore them. Period. And I think a lot of people could internalize that and learn something from that, because I know it sounds generic, but I have learned a ton from that. Being like, now look at when someone's talking shit, or look when someone's telling you what you should do, and then think about it. Do they actually want to see me succeed? And then if they do, take what they say to heart.
Yeah.
And then take yourself, look in the mirror and say, man, maybe I need to make a couple changes or something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely. And that's one that I definitely got caught up trying to be friends with everyone rather than
can't do
pleasing
that.
myself.
Yep.
And it's like, there's people, I get a lot of love. I get a lot of fake love at times. And it's because, I'm trying to be nice to everyone rather than saying no.
Yeah.
And like not even cutting off people, but more so respecting myself and then dialing into those people that truly care about me. So that's excellent advice.
And one more thing I
Yeah.
will say is that you need to do stuff that fills your cup. Period. If that's getting out into nature, do it. You need to do stuff that fills your cup. Even if you're like, man, even a couple of years ago, I was like, man, I really want to get invited to this party or that. I don't care anymore. I don't care because my internal peace is more important than anything else right now. And that's why I love Thicc Bass TV, dude, because it's part of like my journey, and you're getting that raw, you're getting that uncut, you're getting that real stuff, man. You're not getting this like top 5 places to go, or like you're not getting like, man, like left my girl on red, now I'm gonna, you know what I mean? You're not getting the generic stuff.
Oh,
You're getting
bro,
like
for
stuff
sure.
like every video I make is from my heart, and I love it and I appreciate
sure.
it. And yeah, man, I mean, it's a grind, as you know, and I love your content too. I love the mayonnaise. With
The Mayo Martin, and Relish
goated.
Ray.
And I like the one
Hot
where you guys are
Dog
working
Summer.
out on your porch. That one is insane. But I like what you're doing here, man. I like how you're connecting everyone. And thanks for having me on, brother.
Absolutely fucking pleasure.
Love what you're doing, man.
Building a space for people to talk, and I wasn't sure what would happen if I brought you on, but you've killed everything. And
What do you mean not sure what was going to
Well,
happen?
more so just because you and I are those type of wild cards that, you never
Yeah.
know what type of Ray you're going to get. When I do this, when I'm sponsoring this idea within my
Hey, tell the camera real quick how we met. Just tell them real quick, then we're off. I still have you on my phone as Ray Benny's. Because you used to work at Benny's. It's a pizza place, guys. He used to give me free slices once in a while. Don't tell Benny's that, but...
No, Benny, that was my...
Oh, they know, yeah.
That was
They
my
used to give me free
employees.
slices.
Benny's blesses.
Yeah.
I talked to Benny's about possibly being a sponsor for this and being
Dude,
everybody
that
eats,
would
giving
be
people the discounts.
Dope. And we could do a little pizza review on here.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Little Dave Portnoy.
Well, so I thought we met through Hayden, though. Hayden Blosser.
Yeah, you came down to the river. We were fishing catfish, and you were stoned out of your mind wearing rainbow Crocs.
Oh, gosh.
You're wearing rainbow
not
Crocs,
wrong.
and I was shotgunning liquid deaths because I was on a little.
I
little
wanted
summer
to
train.
make sure, and that was to elaborate. Eric was going through a portion where he was rebuking alcohol or being sober, but one of the funniest things about that, and a long conversation we had about that, was about the behaviors of consumption. That he brought a 4-pack of liquid deaths and was shotgunning liquid deaths instead of shotgunning beers. It's a seltzer water. It was
No,
getting
they were the
same-
flat ones.
Oh, the
A
better.
white label.
I just remember the carbonation or whatever it was made you belch quite loud, and then we laughed because it's probably the behavior that was causing it. But that being said, you haven't quite curbed the behavior, or you fixed the behavior in terms of giving it something to drive towards this Thicc Bass. So I'm happy to see the personal growth because it's dialed, as I would say anything. And the dial has been it's a journey, and the journey is the destination. But you've been dialing more and more. Badass. Can you elaborate on who's on your shirt, by the way? Because I just had a flashback of how I know Alan Jackson.
This
but,
is Alan Jackson, the country music goat.
What's his song? He had a song.
Chattahoochee, Drive.
Way
Living
down
on Love.
in the Chattahoochee.
I mean, dude, he's the embodiment of
I had a
country music.
I had a special needs kid that knew how to type in chat. You should type in Alan, ALAN, and then find the Chattahoochee video almost every day. And it got ingrained into my video, or ingrained into my brain. But I think that's my brain shutting down. We definitely just are not even hitting our time. I like that it's a natural.
This has
oration.
been over for like 20 minutes.
Well, but it's beautiful because I think at this point it's the time that we follow the river, and we're gonna let the world keep making us do what we do. I can't thank you for coming. I can't thank you enough for being on here. Shout out to our sponsors for the episode: Triple Crossing
Let's go, baby.
and Fuzzy Forcefield Sweatshirt Co.
Everybody eats,
Charged Up. You will be seeing this soon enough, and I can't thank you. No matter what, never stop trusting. What you cannot trust, you must respect. And then after that, you just gotta eat. So God bless.